The truth occurs.
Hi everyone. Do you know who Carly Fleischmann is? She's an autistic woman who's nonverbal, who communicates through writing, through typing. And she and her father had written this book together, Carly's Voice. If you read Carly Fleischmann's book, you'll see that you can't judge a person who is autistic or who can't speak by the behavior that you see on the surface. All these years, people thought that Carly Fleischmann was probably intellectually disabled because she's autistic and nonverbal and had a lot of odd or unusual behaviors on the surface. But the amazing thing is that when she started typing, it showed that she's actually extremely intelligent, very, very gifted, and very kind of normal in the way that she thinks. People tend to think that autistic people are intellectually challenged and that they kind of don't care about anyone or anything around them. But I think that from Carly Fleischmann's experience, you'll see that that's not necessarily true at all. She'd been blogging and tweeting, and she'd even been on the Ellen Show and doing all kinds of great things. And then she kind of disappeared, and I was wondering what happened to Carly Fleischmann. And then I found out she had undergone ECT, electro-convulsive therapy, or electroshock therapy for her severe OCD last year in March. And since then, she has been unable to type, so unable to communicate. Her last posts say things like that her brain is scrambled, that the ECT did this to her, that she needs help. So I was just devastated to hear this because she's such an amazing person. And this is just so tragic. And I was wondering, how could this happen? Why would she want to get ECT? ECT is, to say the least, such a controversial treatment. And is it even shown to be at all effective for OCD? Here it says, studies have not found ECT to be effective for OCD. One uncontrolled case series reported considerable improvements in OCD patients the year after ECT, although improvement was correlated with improved depression scores. Another article here says it is not believed to be consistently effective for primary treatment refractory OCD. An article on the Huffington Post says new study confirms electroshock ECT causes brain damage. Using a functional MRI in 9 patients, the authors of the study conclude our results show that ECT has lasting effects on the functional architecture of the brain. The result of these lasting effects is decreased functional connectivity with other parts of the brain. In other words, the frontal lobes are cut off from the rest of the brain. The authors call this disconnectivity. Does this sound familiar? Is this a lasting frontal lobotomy? So what he's saying basically, that it sounds like what the ECT is doing is damaging the brain, decreasing connectivity, and so maybe people feel less depressed because they're kind of sort of partly lobotomized. Maybe they're less self-aware or something else going on like that indirectly affects their ability to feel depressed. And in this other article from Dr. Bregan, it says animal studies show diffuse brain damage following ECT. The most common findings are petechial or pinpoint hemorrhages throughout the brain and surrounding blood vessels, as well as areas of gliosis and neuronal degeneration with patches of cell death. That doesn't sound good at all. Occasionally, larger hemorrhages and edema of the brain are found. These findings are also seen on human autopsies performed on ECT patients. ECT can cause severe and permanent memory loss, brain damage, suicide, cardiovascular complications, intellectual impairment, and even death. The current Western Australian ECT consent form states, in some people, memory loss may be severe and can even be permanent. So what is the justification for giving ECT? I mean, it's supposed to be for people who are very depressed, to prevent suicide, maybe, but then, studies showed that actually patients who receive ECT may die younger on average than similarly depressed patients who did not receive ECT. So this could be either from the trauma of having the ECT, like as in emotional consequences, or maybe some kind of damage to the heart, weakening of the constitution. There's actually also a group called ECT Justice, which are having a protest against ECT May 16th, 2015, all over the US. So if you're in one of those places and you want to join in, the locations are listed on the website. So as far as I can see, there's really not much evidence that it's good for OCD at all. and there's a lot of evidence that it causes brain damage. I want to, look at both sides of the story. So I started looking up whether anyone had positive experiences. Believe it or not, there's some people who advocate the use of ECT for autistic children and adults and say that sometimes it's the only thing that relieves them of the compulsive need to engage in severe, persistent, self-injurious behavior. And I did find this page where a woman claims that it really rescued her and another woman from severe depression, and that it was like you just woke up as a different person. So maybe for some people it does something good. In any case, for Carly Fleischmann, clearly it gave her some kind of damage. It seems to me that shocking someone's brain is kind of really barbaric. I mean, what are we, still in the Middle Ages? It's not like they don't have alternatives, neurofeedback or magnet therapy or who knows what. I'm not the doctor here, but I'm sure that there's something better out there than giving people an electrical lobotomy. So I wanted to just bring this to your awareness and also ask you to please keep Carly Fleischmann in your thoughts and pray for her and her family, and that she make a full recovery. And thanks for liking and sharing this video, and thanks for leaving me your comments, and I'll see you next time.
The truth occurs.